See, there are many dimensions in which you can teach yoga. You have backache and that's all you're interested in, that your backache should go, we'll teach you one kind of yoga. You want peace of mind, we'll teach you another kind of yoga. You want to be blissed out, I will teach you another kind of yoga.
It's custom-made, you're saying?
It has to be custom-made because there is no other way to make it. Because the Yoga Sutras gave only sutras or formulas.
Yogi Vasudev did not understand the meaning of the word formula, because he simply took it from Bhagavan Sri Shanmuka, also known as Palaniswami. A formula by itself threads everything. And where did Yogi Vasudev get this word formula for sutra from? Yogi Vasudev, who has no knowledge of even basic Sanskrit, who does not know the difference between Ashru and Aksha.
First of all, what's Rudraksh? You know what's Rudraksh? Rudra means Shiva, Aksha means teardrops. Shiva's teardrops.
Aksha does not mean teardrops. Aksha means eyes. Therefore Rudraksha becomes Rudra's eyes. Ashru is the word for tears in Sanskrit. Yogi Vasudev, who publicly stated he always avoided learning Sanskrit.
I have always avoided learning Sanskrit language. I didn't want to clutter myself with traditions and scriptures and other things.
Yogi Vasudev, who does not know Hindi and cannot read Tamil.
இப்போ நான் பாருங்க தமிழ் பேசுறேன், தமிழ் மாதிரியே இருக்குது இது. புரியுது ஏதோ ஓரளவுக்கு. ஆனா தமிழ்னு சொல்ல முடியாது நான் பேசுறது. தமிழ் மாதிரி ஏதோ ஒன்று பேசிக்கிறேன்.
Then you learn a little bit of Hindi then?
No, you won't.
You won't?
No.
How then can Yogi Vasudev translate sutras as formula, when even scholars who have PhDs in Sanskrit have never equated sutras with formula? The word sutra has been translated as formula by Bhagavan Sri Shanmuka, also known as Palaniswami, from his teenage years. And it is also in Bhagavan Sri Shanmuka's books and lectures. Yogi Vasudev simply uses the teachings of Bhagavan Sri Shanmuka, also known as Palaniswami. And this is dishonest.
Sutra means it's like a thread. You make a garland with a thread, but you don't wear a garland for the sake of the thread. It's for the sake of the flowers. So the Yoga Sutras gave only the thread. What kind of flowers you add to it is the skill of each individual person. So it has to be custom-made, there is no other way. If I give you the yoga that I give to somebody else, it's not going to work for you, because you are a unique combination of things. So yoga always has to be custom-made.
To custom-made yoga, one needs knowledge, not just tabloid fashion statements. And Yogi Vasudev has no knowledge of yoga, let alone finer details of yoga. That Yogi Vasudev has no knowledge of yoga, he himself declared publicly. Please see the following clip.
I'm completely spiritually uneducated. I have to admit that I have neither read the Gita, nor the Vedas, nor the Upanishads, nor even the Yoga Sutra. I've never studied anything. The most profound literature that I read, I read English literature just for fun because I like the language. Otherwise, the most profound stuff that I read is asterisks.
Is what? Asterisk. Asterisk comics, yeah.
At the age of 58, in New York, Yogi Vasudev confessed that he didn't read even the Yoga Sutras. As Yogi Vasudev doesn't know Sanskrit or Tamil or Hindi, then whatever he is saying comes from the English translated materials. This contradicts the claim that Yogi Vasudev is a guru. Gurus do not represent Western ideas. They are supposed to pass on to the disciples their authentic tradition and their traditional teachings. This is not the case with Yogi Vasudev. Yogi Vasudev has many videos where he confesses that he neither read the Gita, nor the Veda, nor the Upanishads. that he didn't read the Bhagavad Gita and the Mahabharata.
I had to admit that I have not read the Gita. So we're doing this Mahabharata program, now I'm compelled to read it. But I still passed Mahabharata program without reading it. That's why I skipped.
He also advises his audience not to read Vedanta because it is just a mental game.
So, this eye business and all, you reading bits and pieces of Vedanta, please stop that. This is just a mental game.
In fact, if you look at it, Jaggi Vasudev already confessed that he does not have any authentic education in yoga or the Indian spiritual tradition. Whatever he claims is not true, as you can see in these following clips.
Somewhere around 3,200 years ago, Patanjali Maharishi came. When he came, he tried to assimilate all this into Yoga Sutras. So he assimilated these 1800 different types of yogas into little over 200 Yoga Sutras.
Jaggi Vasudev publicly stated he didn't read Yoga Sutras, and yet he talks about it with so much certainty. Jaggi Vasudev has no knowledge of yoga. He has no lineage to talk from. These words of his only convince his blind followers, but in the real world it has no credit.
Well, from the age of 12, I started a process, a powerful system of yoga called Angamardana. Angamardana, this is an ancient system which has many levels and dimensions of practice attached to it. Angamardana literally means to have complete mastery over your limbs.
Here, Jaggi Vasudev said, from the age of 12, I started a powerful system called Angamardana. From the age of 12? This is just a joke. Jaggi Vasudev never read the Yoga Sutras. He doesn't know how to read the commentaries or any associated systems with the Yoga Sutras. He simply makes stupid claims. This is what the Western academics are saying, that yoga in India is just a leftover of the English physical education for the school children of India, started by Thomas Babington Macaulay. This is the colonial ghostly possession that has taken over the yoga world, that Bhagavan Sri Shanmukha, also known as Palaniswami, is wanting to perform an exorcism to get rid of the colonial ghost from the world of yoga.
Well, here's my breakfast. It's very important that every one of you stay fit for life. Being fit for life means hardness in the body, sharpness in your mind, and softness in your heart.
Usually, yogis are trying to make the body supple, and Jaggi is talking about making the body hard. This is because Jaggi Vasudev has no experience of doing yoga himself.
Angamardana, as a system, has many dimensions to it. One is pure physical culture, to bring fitness into one's life. This is an ancient system. Well, from the age of 12, I started a process, a powerful system of yoga called Angamardana.
This is not an ancient system. This is a concoction of Jaggi after his pulp fiction enlightenment claim. This is simply dishonest. Here, Jaggi Vasudev, who lifted the nose of Bhagavan Sri Shanmukha, also known as Palaniswami, is actually conning the public. There is no such thing as Angamardana. It is a fabrication.
These 84 asanas, which are the fundamental yogasanas, are 84 ways to make the body into a passage. It is not necessary, actually, for everybody to do 84 asanas. If they do one, it is enough. Usually hatha yogis, serious hatha yogis who are taking hatha yoga as their path to liberation, practice only one asana, just one asana.
This one asana is a story that Jaggi Vasudev repeats from the booklet on Hatha Yoga by Theos Bernard. This booklet was published in 1943 and it is available in the second-hand bookshops of Bangalore. The story of the 84 asanas comes from Gudrun Bühnemann and her book called 84 Asanas in Yoga, a survey of traditions with illustrations. It was not in print before Gudrun Bühnemann, and Jaggi Vasudev, without knowledge of Sanskrit, could not have accessed these 84 asanas in its manuscript form. And we know that Jaggi Vasudev speaks from Gudrun Bühnemann's published work, 84 Asanas in Yoga. So, that far Jaggi Vasudev has read. One can clearly see that Angamardana is Jaggi's fabricated story.
I do not want you to forget what yoga means. Yoga means union. Union means two have become one.
This gesture of placing two palms together is always explained by Bhagavan Shri Shanmukha, who is also known as Palaniswami, as the union of Shiva and Shakti. Nobody else explains it like this in the yoga world. Jaggi Vasudev just lifts the words of Bhagavan Shri Shanmukha illegally.
So asanas are a physical manifestation of approaching this, a physical form of approaching this ultimate union, because physical body is the easiest thing to work with. If you try to do something with your mind, it will play too many tricks. At least with the body, you know whether it's doing it right or not doing it right, whether it's cooperating or not cooperating. A mind, it will play all kinds of tricks with you. It will make you believe all kinds of things and dump you the next day. But body is not like that. It is a reliable factor. If you work with it sensibly, the yogasanas will definitely lead… yogasanas will definitely lead to the possibility of ultimate union.
This is a total lift from lectures of Bhagavan Shri Shanmukha, also known as Palaniswami, paraphrased poorly with poor English. Jaggi Vasudev, who does not know yoga, who has not come from any traditional school, is taking India for a ride.